Hey, good morning, Grace family. I'm really happy to be with you this morning. Hey, this morning I've been thinking about how God is at work and how God is showing up in circumstances, sometimes when we don't even know He is working and when we don't see Him. I love the worship song Waymaker. And part of that song, it says, even when I don't see it, you're working. And even when I don't feel it, you're working. And I love that song because I know it's true. It just rings so true with the spirit inside of me that God is always at work. Jesus himself said that God is always at work. In John, chapter 5, it says, "My Father is always at his work, and to this very day, and I too am working." The Father's at work. Jesus is at work. And sometimes we don't see it. And sometimes we don't feel it. I know I have situations in my life right now. I have people that I dearly love who aren't following the Lord that I pray for. I don't see what God's doing. But I really believe he's doing something. I just don't see it. And I trust that he's at work. I wanted to share kind of a cool story with you. So some of you know that we recently moved into a new house in Damascus, and there's so much I could share with you about what a blessing this house is to us. And it was really years of looking for a house. And I had spent a lot of time praying that we would be someplace where we could rest, where we could bless people, where we could be with family and friends. Of course, it's been a little difficult since we moved here in February to do that, but I'm looking forward to the day that we can. But so I had put a lot of prayer into it, and we moved into this house, and when you're buying a house, you don't really these days get to have much contact with the seller of the house. It's kind of out of your hands. And after moving into this house, I was able to connect with the woman who sold us this house. And I was so blessed. She shared that she felt like she didn't have much say in who would buy the house. She didn't know much about the person that would buy the house. But she'd been praying. She'd been praying that God would be at work. And what she had prayed for was that whoever bought this house would be believers. That whoever bought this house would follow the Lord in a way that God would still dwell here and that he would be honored here. It's so encouraging to me because she didn't know if God was going to answer that prayer. I didn't know if God was going to answer my prayers, but he was at work behind the scenes, and he answered both of our prayers. And we are so blessed, and just by being here, and she's so blessed at knowing that God still dwells here, and it's pretty incredible. I really think that God shows up in our lives all the time, and sometimes we just don't see it. I have a challenge for you, though. I'd really love for you to be thinking about what's a way that God's showing up in your life these days. And I would love for you to share that. That is so encouraging to everybody else to know how God's showing up. And we have a group on our Facebook page. It's called Grace Helping Grace. And if you're not a part of that, you can sign up for that on our Facebook page. But I was wondering this week if you would take some time to just share a little story about how God's showing up. How is he with you? How is he for you? How is he using you? How's he giving you purpose during this time? Let's just share about God and give God glory at this time, at this difficult time. I think that's really what he would want us to do. So anyway, I love you guys, and I can't wait to read what you have to share. See you soon.